Once again, thank you for sitting down with me this morning. Finally was able to get it done. I think we tried this a few times.
Yeah.
Thank you. So yeah, definitely I just want to know, for you to let everybody know who you are, an explanation in your own words of who you are, what you do, and then we just kind of get into the interview from there.
Okay. Well, my name is Jessica K. Carter. I am a mompreneur and urban farmer here in St. Louis County. I have been a mompreneur about 15 years and an urban farmer for about 5. I love what I do. I also work with children. That has been a strong passion of mine for about 20 years, actually. As long as I could care for kids, I've been caring for kids. And I'm also a book publisher and author.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, those are pretty much what I saw. So I see children's book author, a book publisher, child care director, agriculturalist, scholar, practitioner, and hood educator.
Yes.
The hood educator, how would you describe that?
Okay. The hood educator, well, my background, I'm currently a doctoral student working towards my PhD in general psychology, and I think I took more of a hood educator's approach when I realized people wanted the knowledge, but they didn't necessarily want the institution that came with it. So for me, it was really easy to make different courses and workshops available to folks that wanted to learn how to garden or that wanted to learn how to become an author, a book publisher, and just put it out there, because I think that stops a lot of people from actually accomplishing what they want. They just don't know where to find it. So I made myself the hood's educator in an effort to help other people get to where they want to be.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, I'm actually a school counselor, but my approach is like that because I feel like a lot of it's college.
Yeah.
You can be successful. It's just having a plan and kind of, speaking that language in a way to where people understand it, because it's not always attractive when it's off as, so that's what's up. So cool. So like with everything that you do, how did it start? Like, how did you kind of get into just, I guess, after high school or whatever it was, how did you get into what you're doing now?
Okay, so my primary focus has always been children. At about 13 years old, 12 years old, my grandmother had me babysitting kids, and I really was a natural at it, and I loved it. So from babysitting to learning how to utilize my skills and become someone's at-home nanny and get paid off of that, to actually giving back and becoming a foster parent, I really stayed true to what I loved when it came to kids, and eventually opened my first in-home daycare. And after that, I opened another, and I'm currently working on a school for children whose parents want them in a in-home collective to grow in, rather than going to a public institution. So with that, I get to work with kids from 6 weeks up to 5 years old currently, and I really love that. I was exposed to gardening at a very young age. My grandmother, again, and my father had some input, and just went outdoors, and they did so much in our yard that once I actually bought my first property here that had a yard for real, I said I wanted to go full throttle into it. And with that, I currently grow about 30 different plants, flowers, and herbs that I'm able to use, my family's able to use, and my neighbors, even extending it to my front yard with a garden. As far as book publishing, when I was pregnant with my first daughter, I knew I wanted her to have a collection of books that I thought represented her, and not just history, but something more mystical and affirming to who she could be, and that birthed its own kid of mine, I guess you could say, with Tribe X Presents, which is a group of 5 magical black and brown kids that go on adventures and teach kids along the way. So I really just find sparks and I go with them. And I run with it, and as long as it feels good to my soul, then I'm okay with that.
That's what's up. Yeah, the gardening and everything, that intrigued me, because like this is like right before the pandemic, like maybe a few years. I always said like if the world, something just happened where food just disappeared, like half or more than half probably the population wouldn't know how to grow stuff, like, you know, and we're not probably there as a society, but just kind of, you gotta think like that sometimes, like how can you survive? So that really intrigued me. I thought it was cool. And then your style of doing it with the TikTok and being creative with that and everything, that's pretty cool. Like with what inspired the TikTok videos?
So my garden twerks, as people call them, and they call me the twerking farmer. It really just was me being vulnerable to the world at that point. With us being home with the pandemic, it was reaching people that hadn't thought about gardening before, and yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. You have the Rooted Home Farms company that you started. So with that, what exactly does that entail?
Okay, so Rooted Home Farms and Gardens, that came to be once people really started asking me, like, can you teach me to grow? Can you teach me to grow? And I was so hesitant about it because I didn't want to capitalize off my passion, you know, but the truth of the matter is that time is worthy of that, and people kept coming at me, so I was like, okay, let me figure out a way that I can really work and not feel like I'm working when I do it. And with that was the teaching, like literally teaching, because I love to teach people. You know, I teach kids every day, and when I had adults wanting to learn something, it was just like, okay, I can do that. So with Rooted Home Farms and Gardens, I teach garden consultation one-on-one, where people can call me and we'll sit down and actually go through the gardening basics together. I also do training sessions where I come out to homes and I teach while we work. So you're learning the gardening basics and we're getting our hands dirty while setting up your individual garden. And then I have individuals that don't want to do the work, which is totally okay. They want to get into the journey, but they want me to put that initial setup, and I'm more than happy to do that for them as well. And then we do consultations afterwards so that they can learn as they go, since everything's already there for them. So there's a variety of services I offer with that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I saw with that, is there like a ultimate goal, or do you have like an ultimate goal even with the daycare or with the school? I know that's a goal you're still working towards, but is there, I guess, an ultimate goal with everything? I don't know, how would you, I guess, say that?
Okay, so with the farming, that is my ultimate goal, to keep extending the property that we own, as well as adding more animals. We currently have 9 chickens. We started with 3 last year, and we had some chicks that came along recently. So we have 9 chickens, and we keep their eggs. We give away their eggs and sell them, actually. So yeah, just extending our land. We recently purchased 5 acres in Madison, Illinois, so we're extending beyond St. Louis County at this point, and just continuing to add animals so that I can offer more animal courses as well, because right now I'll teach basic chicken courses to people if they reach out to me, but I want people to be okay and more in unison with nature. That's my ultimate goal. So to teach the gardening as well as the entire agriculture aspect with animals included, that's my ultimate goal, so that people can grow their own food, feel good around animals and comfortable, and just know that there's a host of possibilities out there with agriculture. It's not a poor man's career, which has been beat into our heads for many, many years.
Okay. Is there, I guess we call this the free game, if there was like one piece of advice or something that you would want people to know about it, or something that you think is very important, is there anything that, I guess, I mean, it may be multiple things, but is there one piece of advice you would want to just share with people that should know?
When it comes to growing anything, it's trial and error. So, you know, you might kill that first, that second, or that third plant, and it's totally okay, because that fourth one, as long as you're learning and going back and realizing it's a process, you're gonna strike gold or green, you know, eventually. And definitely being open to having mentors and friends who do the same thing, it'll get you to that goal a lot quicker than doing it all alone. And never be afraid to research. You know, even if you don't want to go spend to get a mentor, or you're not the friendliest individual, you can definitely get all the information you need to start your own garden online with your phone, something we all usually have on a daily basis in our hands. Legends Academy, that's my newest venture. I started with Mabel's House. That was my in-home daycare that was really influenced by my grandmother and her style of rearing children and things of that nature. And as I transition from Missouri to Illinois, we are going to be able to focus more on actually finishing Legends Academy, which is the aftermath of Mabel's House, basically, where my in-home collective of kids are able to grow together and get the educational foundation that they actually need. So it'll be here actually at my home that we currently have, since we're transitioning out of here, and I intend for it to be a staple in the community that it currently lies in. So that's my ultimate goal with that.
Okay. One of my last questions I have for you just kind of came. What's that because you're an entrepreneur, so how's that grind for people that are entrepreneurs? How was it getting into that? Because some people make it look easy, but you know, definitely not.
No, it's not easy. It's at least 60 hours a week for me right now. So that grind has been a long grind, especially when you're talking about not just being an entrepreneur, but going to school, you know, getting those degrees and then having a kid afterwards, or a husband and then a kid, and then trying to balance all of that. So no, that entrepreneurship grind is something that takes dedication as well as pure heart. You know, at the end of the day, it's something that you want. It's a balancing act that it takes some time to get adjusted to, but once you get it adjusted, you're able to make it your own. You know, it's something that has levels, and that's something I'm realizing and that I'm appreciating. You know, I could look back at where I was 10 years ago and say, man, I've accumulated a lot, I've accomplished a lot in 10 years, and look at myself now like, oh wow, here's that next level, here's that next thing happening. And it makes you appreciate it all, because had it been given to me, there's no telling what I'd be doing right now. But you know, the fact that I'm building it up and that I'm seeing myself climbing it, there's no limit to that, where I know the 55 hours I put in now, the 60 hours I put in, next year it won't be that. Because the ultimate goal is to spend less time working and more time with my family doing things that we love. So it's a grind, and you have to stay focused on that end game.
Okay, thank you. I think that's very good advice for people that's, you know, exploring it. Myself, I'm thinking about transitioning to it. So, and you learn a lot through it. So as kind of going through myself, I knew you could probably share some stuff, especially doing it full time and doing it for a while. So I thank you for that. The last thing, or really just for you to be able to let people know how to reach out to you, what kind of what platforms are you on, or if somebody wants to reach out and you know, get any of your businesses, get services, how can they reach out to you?
Okay, so the best way to reach me would be jessicakcarter.com, and there you will find everything about Legends Academy, Rooted Home Farms and Garden, and Carter Creation Publishing House, which, you know, the publishing company as well. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm pretty much everywhere. So jessicakcarter.com, and all of your social media handles would be just Jassy. You can find me there.
Okay, cool. Well, I thank you for sitting down with me. I said this is something I'm doing, just interviewing people around the city of St. Louis. And I think we have some really dope individuals that do things, and people need to know about it. So this is me trying to reach out to people that I see and sharing that story or what I see, so other people can see it, and then hopefully it also help your company or whatever you're doing grow. So thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for putting me on the list. I appreciate
No
you.
problem. You was at the top, so.
I appreciate it.